Folks, it is a Victory Monday in Buffalo, New York, and we got a brand new episode of Trainwreck Tonight, live here at Studio D here in Cheek to Vegas. Got myself, the General, Maniac, Ty B's on the IR tonight, DJ Supreme, and a couple very special guests tonight. Maniac, show sponsor,
Buffalo Credit Repair. Maybe you're saving up for a big purchase or just trying to make the money you've earned go that much further. Follow up with our friends at Buffalo Credit Repair on Instagram or contact them by phone, 716-436-5000. Again, Buffalo Credit Repair, 716-436-5000.
So we had Joe Biscaglia on Thursday night, and all of a sudden after that show, our DMs started blowing up.
Literally popping.
I mean, guests start filing in. So our first two after that episode, we got Heather Prusak and John Scott. How does it feel to be in Studio D tonight?
Oh, it feels great to be down here. Yeah, I've seen so many other people that I know, Matt Perino and others, Matt Beauvais, and everyone else has made it down here. So finally, our schedules align and we get to join the fun.
And Beautiful. I'd like to point out we have Otto is here as well. He's floating around somewhere. Hey, bud.
Otto is a guest producer today.
Yeah.
He's making sure that things are taken care of behind the scenes. And if he wants to get in front of the camera, I mean, nobody's going to stop him.
I'm sure he will at some point. He's also making sure the floor is nice and clean in case there's any crumbs anywhere. Don't worry, he'll be your vacuum tonight.
Perfect.
He was literally just tuning in, staring at us, watching us right now. But the Bills are 3-0. It's another Victory Monday. It's another Monday waking up. You're like, damn, it's tough to get out of bed, but it feels good. And what are your initial takeaways? Because obviously a lot of Bills fans, we're 3-0, but we always find a way to be a little negative.
Sure.
There's always something. So instead of us, bitching and complaining about a loss, it's more wins. Like, why didn't we win by 3 or 4 touchdowns in this matchup?
Sure.
So, John, Heather, whoever wants to start, what do you think about that?
You want to go first?
I'll go first. It's one of those things where the standings say one story, and it's what side of the coin do you want to look at it. You can think of it positively as to the fact that they've yet to play a complete game, albeit against teams that really aren't that good, but they've won those games where in years past, even against teams that they maybe should beat, they would play poorly like that and ultimately lose and wouldn't have the rally. So if you look at the glass half full perspective, it's a good positive sign for them that they haven't played their best football. They're still 3-0, but we all know the biggest test is coming Sunday.
Yep. Yeah, I think it's really difficult for Bills fans sometimes because, like you said, you can either look at it half empty, half full. The empty side is the fact that there keeps being kind of these recurring mistakes and almost lapses in judgment there, where I feel like sometimes they might get a little complacent and be like, hey, we've rallied, so if we get down or we kind of, snooze a little bit, it's okay. The fourth quarter comes and, Josh will be there to rally us back, but you can't get in the habit of relying on that. You have to just from the gate, and that's what I was looking for against the Bengals, for them to kind of, put this team away early and kind of give no doubt in fans' minds, but, in the end, though, all that matters is that 0 in the loss column there. So, yeah, I mean, the measuring stick is going to be coming up this week. We'll see what they're really made of.
You can talk about growing or changing as an organization. I mean, and you said it perfectly. They haven't played a complete game yet. My biggest takeaway, just like week 1, that's a game that they've lost plenty of times in the last 15 years.
Sure.
They have sent us home angry, upset, and crying so many times, but they found a way to get it done. They didn't fade away when the going got tough. Obviously, you would have liked to see them play better in the third quarter, but the biggest thing for me, that's a game just like the Jets game in week 1. They typically lose. They found a way to win, and Heather, just like you said, goose egg in the goose column, or the loss column, sorry.
Yeah, mental, it sounds like a cliche, but, I mean, mental toughness is a thing. I mean, for Josh Allen being in his sophomore season, for a guy that young in his career, he could easily, let that kind of creep in about all those mistakes and stuff, but for him to bounce back and put it out of his mind and lead that fourth quarter comeback, there is something to say for that.
You just had that feeling the whole time before. Like, holy shit, it's happening again.
The 0-3 Bengals.
Then you're thinking, it's going to be 3-0, and all of a sudden you're like, if they lose this game, they could be 2-3.
Well, here's the thing.
You know what I mean? Like, right away, those thoughts around.
The one thing we got to say is people were definitely ready to, jump off the Titanic onto the propeller. They were ready to hit the propeller from the Titanic yesterday.
People thought I was crazy for saying that this could be a possible trap game. Like, oh, no, they're 0-2. They're 0-2, and, the running game's terrible. I'm like, all right, whatever. I'm just saying, and people thought I was nuts, but
And Vegas always knows what they're doing.
Oh yeah,
with
tell
those
me
spreads.
Vegas didn't just crush so many Bills bettors this week.
+6. They kept it close. The Bengals have beat
Yep.
us 5 of 6 times.
yep.
And Joe B said on the show, close game, they'll win, Bengals cover, and it happened.
Mm-hmm.
For
So I mean,
sure.
Always happens.
but
Yeah,
how about
yeah.
some other big takeaways from that game? Sean McDermott going for 2. I know there was a penalty, but I would love to see the Bills do that more. Other NFL teams, it's 2 yards.
Mhm.
And that, you could say, decided the game.
It
Think about
did.
that.
It did, and it was 1 yard, and that was the thing. They were going to kick it. There was a penalty. They decided to do it. One thing I've been harping on, even dating back to last year, but all through the preseason, was can the Bills finally enter this modern age of the National Football League, especially offensively? And that's not just if you get pushed up a yard, you're going to go for 2 and be aggressive. That's not just going for it on 4th down. That's the short, the quick, the intermediate passing games, the up-tempo, the no-huddle, it doesn't matter on 1st or 2nd down where they would run the ball almost all the time. We're going to pass the ball to Cole Beasley because 5 yards on a quick slant or quick thing in the middle is just as effective, if not more, than handing it off to a running back, regardless of if it's a guy at the caliber of LaShawn McCoy. They've started to do that, and I know I saw on Twitter people going, I can't believe what I'm seeing,
Yeah.
because for the past 20 years, through a slew of coaching regimes, no one had the fortitude to make a decision like that early in the game, because it wasn't the conservative play. It wasn't the normal play. It was about as aggressive as you could imagine, and to see that from Sean McDermott and Brian Dable at that juncture of the game, I think it really speaks volumes as to where they are,
Yeah.
that maybe while we see the results are different the first 3 games, maybe just in general, this is a different team in the way they're going to attack and play games week in and
It's
week out.
it's also more fun to watch.
Yeah.
I mean, as a fan, if you're a fan, I mean, you want that aggressive style offense. I know that there's a fine line between being aggressive and reckless, but I mean, from a fan's perspective, you want to see your team taking shots like that, especially you talk about putting away weaker teams early. I'm not saying do that against the Patriots every time or something, but I mean, a weak team like that, you're trying to put them away early, take your shots.
And the next step with this team is doing that for 4 quarters. Like we've
Right.
said already, it was they were moving the football in the first game against the Jets. It was the turnovers. But the second week against the Giants, they were in complete control, and it looked like they took their foot off the gas in the second half, and then that allowed the team to creep in, and the exact same script appeared to play itself out against the Bengals. I want to see like what the Chiefs do, like what a lot of these other teams, what the Rams do, is when they have the opportunity to go for the kill shot, they're going to go for it, and once they hit it, they're going to hit it again, and they're going to just really put this game out of control.
Yeah, you got to keep your foot on
And
the
that's
gas.
what they need to do moving forward. It probably won't come this week, but we'll see. Maybe in the Titans game and
Yeah.
moving forward.
Yep.
And it's crazy. When we were back in middle school, high school, fantasy football was all about stocking up running backs. And it was your Sean Alexander, your
big
Priest
time.
Holmes, your LaDainian Tomlinsons. And the Bills are finally waking up. It's not like, okay, you throw it incomplete on 1st down, and here comes a classic handoff up the middle on 2nd and 10, and it's probably 3rd and long. It's no more of that.
Well, I think
It's
that's
fine. It's the game plan's changed completely.
Well,
I love to see it.
And I think that's part of the reason why they felt so comfortable. I mean, putting Devin Singletary aside, I think that's part of the reason they felt so comfortable getting rid of a guy like LaShawn McCoy, because if this was a couple years ago, you're like, oh my gosh, that's LaShawn McCoy. Like, they didn't even trade him, they cut him. And, you know, to see how the game is so, pass heavy now, and you don't necessarily have to rely so heavily on that feature back. I know some teams still do it, but that if you have that strong, big, cannon arm quarterback that can move the ball through the air, like that's the trend we're seeing now. And again, to me, I think that's more exciting.
And the way he can escape pressure now, too.
Right.
Like,
Oh my
it's
gosh.
just unbelievable.
So I'll slide.
You rarely
Call him David Blaine with that escape ability. I mean, is he going to do the best thing he's ever done after he escapes? Maybe not. But with that said, he just gives your team so many opportunities where, I hate to say it, a Tyrod would have been sacked by a left guard just completely whiffing on a block. I mean, there are advantages that he gives you that very few QBs in the NFL can even afford.
And credit to the offensive line, too.
Most definitely. They played great yesterday.
And Tyrod Taylor would never even attempt that throw. That's the difference. A lot of
Yep.
quarterbacks may have that elusive ability,
Yep.
but they wouldn't even have the idea in their mind that, you know what, I think I could maybe make that throw. And now it's Josh trying to harness and really get a feel of when is it the right time to say, you know what, I think I can make that throw, and when is it the wrong time? It was the wrong time yesterday in the
couldn't have been
Cincinnati
more wrong.
because that's what ultimately, with an offense that was struggling, put them in great field position and started to shift the momentum. That's the wrong time to do it. There are other times that may be a better opportunity to risk more than you would naturally want him to do in different situations. That's the thing that he's going to have to juggle, but at the same time, you can't harness that in too much, because that ability that he makes when the ball drops on the ground, he's getting blitzed, he picks it up, rolls out, and just flicks it to the end zone that's nearly a touchdown. You don't want to take that away from him, because hopefully more times than not, you'll fall on the right side of things as opposed to what you saw in Cincinnati.
Yeah, again, it's the balance between trying to extend plays, make things happen, being aggressive, versus being reckless. And, again, he's very early in his career and in his sophomore season, so he's going to, continue to figure it out. But, so far, he has shown steps to, both good and, both on the good and bad side of that.
So I know a lot of people want to talk about the Patriots, but before we get to that,
we can't focus on that game when we've got another game to play first.
And we are close to 2020. It's time for Ty D's first ever edition of the Newlywed Game here at Studio D.
Excellent.
Let's slide on down, folks.
Take your snippy.
Yep.
Go.
It's going to be great.
Everyone's got to go.
Folks, welcome
You gotta
to
go.
the
Oh,
Trainwreck
yeah.
Sports Newlywed Game. I am your host, Ty D. And tonight we have a pair of friends, degenerate Alabamians who've known each other for a decade, going up against an engaged couple in Heather and John, who will be tying the knot next summer. Now, Choose will be going up first to write their answer down on the whiteboards provided. Now, this is where things are going to get fun. One person is going to answer the question on the whiteboard, and then the other person is going to try to guess what they're saying. The first round, 1 point for each right answer. In the second round, we're going to double it up. All right, you guys, so who's going to go first?
You want me to go first?
Yeah, you go first.
Yep.
Yep, that works.
Yep, they'll go first. Honors to the engaged. Al and I just aren't there yet. Sometimes you're not ready to take the leap.
It's all right.
I know that we're
It's all right,
definitely
you'll get
not
there.
going to be, tying the knot on
Okay.
October
Oh,
27, 2020.
You'll
Both
get there.
teams will be answering both questions. Don't forget that.
Okay.
Oh, yeah, okay.
Okay, so first up, what is the first thing that your significant other would buy if they won the lotto? So you have to guess what they would buy if they won the lotto.
I got this one.
Okay, I got it.
So wait, I write this down for her.
Yes.
Oh,
Yeah, you're guessing what.
what I
Yes.
would do.
Hey, you got to answer for your wed.
Oh, what I would do with that money first. Oh.
Okay.
All right, here we go.
I got to think Otto's getting a
First
mansion.
up, Heather, what would you buy?
I don't know if this is right. I'd pay off my student loans.
All right. Very responsible in 2019.
That's literally the first thing I would do.
That is way too responsible. Wouldn't you buy a dog? You ask for one all the time.
That is fair. What happened to our other dog? Did he leave the shirt?
Oh, where's Otto? Oh, he's back
Oh, wow.
Oh.
He saw John's
He
answer
heard
and he's
it.
not happy.
He's like, I have something to say about this.
All right,
I-
over one over there.
Yeah,
Now,
we're
check
not
it out.
doing good.
Here we go,
Where
DJ
are
Al.
you spending that money first?
Real estate in Las Vegas.
Nah, I didn't have that.
Oh.
More lotto. I mean, why not? Why not ride the wave? I mean, I figure, you're hot. You're hot.
So then do I answer that question for, are we doing the same question?
Yes,
or no?
now you
okay.
can switch.
Oh, I know this one, I think.
The lottery, what would I buy?
Lottery, what would I buy? I mean, obviously, the thing is, I'm very tempted to be like the kid from Blank Check, like a castle, like line up the Chips Ahoy
Right,
trucks
right.
outside, Let's see, I can't cheat though. Can't cheat without
What?
it.
What adjective would your partner just use to
Oh,
describe?
wait, are we not doing the same
No,
question?
not doing the same question.
Oh, okay.
My bad.
okay.
That did sound like
Oh, never mind.
Our bad.
I was going to say that too.
What
I know you-
adjective would your partner use to best describe your family?
So, you'd be describing my
Yeah,
family?
describing the ships. GM Smokey, Tucked, Swolinsky, crew, Callie.
My family.
Here we go, Al. You gotta write something
Okay.
down. Adjectives
Don't
are
show me.
descriptive
I'm
words.
not.
Oh my god. Okay.
Alright. So, while Elle's still ready, we'll go to John.
Okay.
All right.
First.
It's just simple. It's small. We both have small families. That's what I would say.
Sporty because me and my dad really like sports.
Oh for 2.
Good.
Yeah.
This is good though, because to be honest, yeah, we gotta
How
get
would
ready.
you describe the shoots?
How would I describe the Shoops? I mean, GM Smokies out of the way. I've seen Josh has called me an a-hole, so I mean I know that these guys are passionate. I would say that the Shoops are fiery.
Gas.
Gassy! I think I need more inside info than that one.
All right.
What do you guess?
We're gonna rally.
Yeah, can I get a judges? Can I get a judges
No,
on
we're
fiery and
rally
gassy?
here.
That's okay.
All
There we
right.
go. On to the next one. Let's get
Yep.
something right here.
Yeah.
What is one item of clothing that you wear all the time that your significant other or your partner hates?
Oh gosh.
Oh. All right.
Yeah.
This is easy.
Okay. Yeah.
Now make sure you'll say your answers.
Oh my god, I
All
got
right. Yep. This is easy.
it. This is like in your heart. This is in your heart.
this.
Yeah.
All right, Degenerate Al, we'll go
Yep.
to you first.
So I wear this all the time, and she hates it. It's the Al Jacoby Bape hoodie. The old school Bape hoodie that I always used to wear on Trainwreck shows when it gets colder out.
Wait.
Right.
Oh.
It's you
No,
wear?
it's something that you
Yeah,
that
something
he
that you-
wears that you
That he
hate.
wears.
You gotta listen to the
Yeah,
question.
it's-
This is why it never works out between us.
This
Because
one-
it's always you're not listening. You're not doing what I want to do.
Guys, this isn't the counseling.
Okay, we're gonna
show.
go. What's one thing that I wear that you're upset with, that you don't like,
hate
that you
that
that
he
would drive you
wears.
nuts
Yeah.
if I walked in
Yeah.
wearing it right now? You know this.
Yeah.
What do you walk in wearing?
Yeah. That you hate that he wears.
Anything that has to do with Syracuse.
Syracuse stuff. Let's go. Let's go.
All right.
And we take a commanding 1-0 lead in
This
this Newlyweds
is-
game.
Let's see.
Basketball jerseys
Oh,
or
that's-
sleeve or tank tops. Tank
that's a
tops
good
or
one.
Say
basketball.
broy stuff.
Yeah, tank tops or basketball
Oh,
jerseys.
that is a good one because you do hate that. I put my Ultimate Warrior T-shirt.
Oh.
We don't
That's
like-
very specific.
I know, but no, I should have said basketball jerseys. 'cause
I'm gonna give you a half point on
We'll
that
get a
because
half
the
point.
Golden State Warriors
Yeah, there
and
you go.
wrestling is
And
awesome and
it's
underrated
like
by a lot of people.
the
But
NBA
that's why I
stuff.
have it.
Yeah.
For
But I'm
sure.
surprised, like the fact that I was like, okay, you can wear this. Yep.
So it's 1-1 for
Alright.
a couple rounds here.
All right.
What would your partner say is your most commonly used phrase or sentence?
Oh, this is easy.
This one's
Yeah.
tough. Al has a couple
I was gonna say it's not that easy.
that he routinely uses on the show.
Okay.
I think this
Say
one
this
could be
all
very
the
tough.
time. Here it is.
He hears the writing. He knows he's still going.
Heather's writing. You're
Okay.
watching Spectrum News.
Okay.
okay.
Yep. All right.
Are we going first? No, we went first last time.
Okay.
Yeah, John.
So my answer is: in what world?
I mean, in what,
In what
world? Whenever he's like, something is outraged. I mean, in what world?
In what world
do that?
would you not let me wear basketball jerseys?
Yep.
Right?
The I mean prefaces so much extra disbelief versus like just saying in what world? Like I mean,
I mean,
in what
what world?
world?
What world? Yep.
Okay,
There we
so
go.
That was easy.
We're back on the
One
board.
Yup.
over to you, Maniac.
So I mean, the thing is, the lowest hanging fruit here is this train never stops because Al says it all the time. It's a mantra. It's obvious, also defiling. It's big time, but when something good happens and it's over, something bad happens, it's over, or someone that Hal just doesn't like finally gets it in the gipper, there's nothing like a good night now. Good night now! Let's go! Let's go! Let's go!
Bulls, we'll give him the second point there.
Amazing.
And we're
2
gonna
to
move
1.5.
on
Let's
to
go.
the last general question.
It's a 1.5.
2 to 1.5. That's huge. This is the spread is going to be
All right,
very
so
interesting.
Yep.
This
Yep,
one's
yep,
a bit of a layup.
I gotta make sure I do this right this
50-50
time.
question.
All right.
50.
Yeah, I'm answering for you.
It takes longer to get dressed / prepare for a show.
Oh.
A show / going into
Well.
work.
Yep.
So it's very simple. Going into the news station, going to the train wreck. And Here we go, Al. We'll go to you first with the lead.
I would have to say, who takes longer getting ready for a Trainwreck sports show?
I want to see some couples that broke up after the Newlywed game. That would really be like you didn't know
Like,
anything.
Man, that was really eye-opening.
I would say me. It's gotta be.
Al, but not because he's taking a long time to get ready, just because he's nervous. And also, parentheses, I'm always late. I do say I'm always late. So that was the only thing you were debating, was like, did the lateness factor in? Let's go.
I love that.
Let's go.
Mine is obviously Heather, but I illustrated part of the reason why, as many people on Twitter have liked to say. I don't got much hair to deal with before the show, so it's a far quicker process for me.
Oh, folks.
And your
It looks like it's a close game here going into the final round. We're going to the double Buffalo bonus round.
The double B?
Questions.
There you go.
Oh.
2 pointers if you get it right.
All right.
With Team Trainwreck ahead, 3-2.
And a half.
And a half.
Don't forget that half.
We got that half.
And also, I think hair-wise, we're very symmetrical as a couple. We got Heather and I, and then we got
It works.
Heather and I.
It really
That
does work.
That made sense.
It really does work.
Which is why we're both wearing hats.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
It really does work.
That's right.
You gotta show these locks off. Like,
Seriously,
Yup.
flaunt it if you got it.
I was literally saying,
And compensate with facial
Yeah.
hair. We are
Here
on point.
we go.
A lot of good-looking
Double
people
All
up here.
Buffalo bonus round. First question. This is an easy one for every couple / group of friends.
Uh-oh.
What is their favorite wing place?
Oh.
So you two writing, you have to write your favorite wing place down, and they have to guess. John,
I
will you
hope
be
I'm right
first?
with this.
So what is my favorite wing place?
Oh,
Or what is
shit.
hers?
No, yours.
Come on.
Oh wait, what's mine?
Come on, maniac.
Yes.
It's
If
what
you don't
mine
say this,
is.
I'll be pissed.
Yeah.
You're gonna
Yours
say
is, yours is barbell.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Well, barbell. I thought it was. I have a barbell and then Kelly's second for you, but
Mine is
barbells.
Kelly's corner.
But
Shout out.
barbells is mine. So
Okay.
yes, yep.
Yes,
Come on.
that's 2 points.
You know, you can go get some wings at the Delaware Rectangle. You can go get some
Yup.
wings at the Pennsylvania Quadrangle, but you cannot beat Washington Square.
Whoa.
Stay tuned for wing reviews.
Let's go.
That is not the only thing deceiving is that they don't look like
Type
some
some great
galaxy
questions.
No,
building. Like
I've-
the wings are amazing.
I've gone there before some Bison's game. Like they have good wings. Or
They do.
bandits.
You ever been there before a
Yeah.
Sabres game? You
Mm.
can't move.
Yeah.
You literally can't
No,
move.
they have good wings.
Yeah, the
I
wings
will
are
say,
phenomenal.
Yeah,
Shout out to the Spanos.
Yeah, that is an underrated place. I forgot about them.
Okay, here we go. Now,
Is
the
this
two
it?
of you.
By the way, both teams heating up, I think.
Yeah,
we gotta
I mean,
say.
like
we're in the
after
group.
a slow
5-4,
start.
the two of you who are writing, you have to guess what the answerer, what their favorite non-sports Buffalo activities.
Okay.
Non-sports Buffalo activity.
Ooh, it's a tricky one.
Oh, dude, this is so easy, bro.
I think
I'm not thinking of anything.
The
right now.
only thing you tweet about besides sports all the time about doing.
I know that, but sports are.
I get lots of Google.
Who? I'm between
Like,
two.
come
So
on.
am I.
I'm between two.
I'm gonna
here.
say both
No,
because I
no.
don't know what my favorite one is. Okay. Well, all right.
Hold on.
And meanwhile, Otto is making himself at home here.
Non-sports. Okay.
All right. To you first, Heather.
Okay. I'll say. I'm like nervous. Kayaking at Canalside? Maybe?
Oh, I thought you were saying
Wow,
two.
John does not want to flip
No.
that one.
I don't
I
know.
said spin at Rev and patio life, as in.
Oh, I wasn't
drinking.
thinking
I've
about
seen way more
spinning.
posts about spinning than I have
Oh,
kayaking at Canal
yeah.
Side, so I don't know.
I've also
Oh.
folded more things about spinning than I have. shirts
Wow! Let's go! John Scott in the
I told-
building.
you know-
2020 could be off.
Actually, yeah,
And
no,
this
you're
is
right.
why we love.
No, I think I was thinking like around, but man.
Now I want to argue that I think your love's never been truer because John knows you better than you know yourself.
I guess so.
Think about that.
That's
Think
the
about
thing
that.
about spinning. Oh, I'm dumb.
And
I'm
Anna,
dumb, everyone.
Your favorite non-sports Buffalo-related activity?
For the walk-off, hashtag daily plays.
daily plays are obviously, but I went with Music on Main. Your favorite thing to tweet about for 4 months straight.
Hey, we talk about I mean.
He makes his own custom flyers for Music on Main. He's like, we're getting ready for this week.
Maybe like we just need to go like figure out ourselves.
Dang it.
Like,
Wait, is the daily plays counts though, right?
Daily plays does count. It's an
Oh,
activity, but
that's
it's not Buffalo
Buffalo
specific.
related.
It's okay. It's okay. As a couple, we didn't get done. Or we got one more question, or did they just take the lead on the last one?
no, I didn't know.
Oh, they got it wrong.
Oh, we got.
Oh, they got it wrong. Oh, you got it wrong. All right.
Yeah, 'cause I don't even know.
One more.
One question left. So wow, this is a chance. This is a chance. This is it.
You're right.
Yep.
Oh,
There you go.
I'm
Here you go.
nervous. All right.
Oh, I'm very nervous.
This is it.
Honestly,
Don't get scared now.
it's like taking the SATs all over again. I don't know if I
Is it
want to
bad that,
answer.
like,
I don't know if I want
us
to not
get it
answer.
wrong so we can just like keep playing.
It is fun.
This is
I'm not gonna-
really fun. Not gonna
Okay.
lie. All right,
All right.
game face.
Let's go.
Friday night in Buffalo. Where is your partner going out for a drink? If they could pick one place.
That's not good for me. That's not good for
A
us.
place I want them to go, or
No, I'm answering.
This is not good
where
for me,
you
man.
would
Oh,
go.
right now, 'cause
yeah,
I don't know. It's Friday
No,
night, guys.
no.
no.
Opposite.
Oh, it's where I would go.
No,
Yeah,
no, it's
I
not.
would
No, it's
go.
not.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah, it is
well,
yours. It's
then-
yours. It's yours.
I got it.
Oh, Friday night where I would go.
I
No.
want them to go, or
Maybe I
what?
just mixed you up.
It's
I know.
No, it's where it's where I would go.
Oh yeah. This is for all
Yeah.
the marbles for the trophy.
Oh,
The
this.
first
Not
ever
super
winner
happy with
of
the
the
answer?
Trainwreck
That's okay.
Sports.
I
Newlywed.
cannot believe we're about to get walked off on.
And
You got it.
Team Trainwreck.
Yeah, I'm not happy, but
The
it's
win.
okay.
They're up
Don't
5-4
show.
I'm not
last
showing, I'm literally just
answer.
going like this.
Coming.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, this was a.
John, I think I know where.
All right, we gotta go first, right?
Yeah.
No,
Okay.
No,
you guys get the
Okay.
wrong.
So we recently moved to the Southtowns, but before that, I lived in North Buffalo.
You know what?
Oh, he's way off.
You
He's
teed
way
him
off.
off.
for 5.5 years, and at the end of my street was a fine local establishment known as Kelly's Corner that I would frequent very, very, very often. So Kelly's Corner.
Good. Good day. Walk it off. We're real Team Trainwreck.
Maniac, I
Get those points.
This guy doesn't go out that much.
The win.
So
Maniac.
I tried.
It's
Not
a
too
Friday night in Buffalo, New York. Where are you headed?
It's a Friday night.
I'm
It's
sure
a
it's
Friday.
alright.
It's a Friday night in Buffalo, New York. You know that it's time to get lit. I only go to one spot, and it is the casino with my grandma.
Oh.
Hey! Rec Room! Oh, come on. Just because they're a sponsor and I love them doesn't mean I start early there on Friday night.
You were just there on Friday.
That is true. I was there on Friday.
Man,
Deny that.
who would have thought that I would be happy about talking about Kelly's?
Seriously.
Kelly
I knew you had it at fine local establishment.
Congratulations.
Yup. I was like, I mean, I'm not happy about this.
We slide
but...
back.
Yep, we're gonna
All right,
slide
slide
back.
back down. Okay.
Kelly's
That's
does it
awful.
for
I'm
me
not gonna
again.
lie, that's awful. That's a tough loss.
Yeah, that
That
was
really
gonna sting
is.
for a bit, for sure.
Oh,
Thank you.
So good news, the wedding is still on.
The wedding's actually moved up now.
Yeah, I was gonna say it's next weekend.
We've reached a whole new level of
Actually,
relationship.
you know,
Well, that's
we'll
where
do
the
it.
prizes come in. We are actually going to send one bouquet of flowers to the wedding.
Yeah, we'll do it. We'll do it at halftime of the Patriots game, just like that.
And now the reception will be at Kelly's Corner.
Yeah, I guess so.
We got you 25% off a venue if you want to use Batavia Downs.
Excellent.
Kelly, how about you? Big Southtowns girl.
Kelly?
He's got Kelly's in his mind.
Come on, Al!
Oh my
Maybe
god.
maybe I'm starting to look like a big chicken wing or something.
That's alright. We get frazzled very
We'll cut
easily.
this. We'll cut this, right?
Yeah, everything's cut.
This is
Everything's
the
Oh
cut.
my god,
Yeah,
no, it's
cut.
Start
funny.
over.
Okay,
It's
it's
cut.
so funny.
It's
So
cut.
John, you're North Buffalo, Kelly's Corner. Heather, you're a big Southtowns girl
I
from Hamburg,
am.
Hamburg High.
Yes.
What's so great about the Southtowns?
Well, you know, yeah, I know that ugh is for the snow. I know.
It's very fluffy down there.
Yeah, well, it is. Okay, let's put that aside. No, I think, you know, when you're from an area and you put down your roots and things like that. Like I grew up in Hamburg. You know, went through the Hamburg school district and stuff, and I don't know. It's just got a very like slower feel to it. Like not in a bad way though. I don't know. I'm trying to describe it. It's just that the North Towns is very fast congested and like so much traffic and whatever. Whereas
transit road traffic, no one can deal with it.
yeah, exactly. But
Yep.
like in Hamburg and Orchard Park, I feel like it's just a little more laid back. It's like, all right, you know, but we can chill, we can have a beer on a patio and not see, you know, a million cars lined up on the street and, you know, traffic jams and honking horns and whatever. So I just feel like it's a little more chill.
So let's hear your favorite restaurant, Southtowns, favorite wing place in Southtowns.
So favorite wing place in the Southtowns and just in general are the same thing. Barville in East Aurora.
Yep.
And then favorite restaurant is Manja in Orchard Park.
I could have gotten those.
Yeah,
those
you-
questions.
I was gonna say, you-
Those were layups. When it comes to Buffalo, we're not asking food questions because that's too easy.
I don't know if Manja's a layup in the Southtowns though.
That's
I mean,
true,
it's a
that's
great
true.
place
I don't
to
know.
go.
I don't know if it is either. I don't know. But yeah,
I like that take though.
love Manja. It used to be in Hamburg. So you know where the Grange Community Kitchen is in Hamburg? It's like so it's like right in the village of Hamburg, where it's a I would say fairly new place, like within the past couple years. But before that, it used to be this little like mom and pop Italian restaurant, like family owned, whatever. That used to, it was called Tina's. That used to be my favorite place ever. We used to go there like when I was a little kid, on my birthday every year, whatever. And then it closed, and now it's the Grange. Still, the Grange is a cool place too. But yeah, so now it's Manja.
What about Ilios?
Love
Christy's always
Ilios.
trying to get me to go
Love
there.
Ilios. Ilios is great. I actually used to work there in high school.
Really?
Yeah. I used to work there in high school. It's a wonder I didn't get fat that summer because I worked at 2 Scoops ice cream and Ilios at the same time. So I'm eating like bread and chicken parm, and then I'm getting like ice cream. Like, geez, good thing I, you know, run and stuff because I would have been like 400 pounds. But yeah, Ilios, great place too. Yep.
If you could sell teenage metabolism, how much would that be worth? I mean,
Oh
like,
my
come
God,
on, $500 a
I
pack.
know,
Like, give me,
seriously.
like, you could just do anything. Wake up the next day, pound a Gatorade.
Right.
We're ready to go.
We're ready to go.
Yeah.
Yep, exactly. Like
Teenage
boom.
metabolism and college rallying.
Yeah. Oh,
Where you're like ready to go.
some incredible
like,
rally.
5 hours later. Oh, I ate a bagel and some water, and I'm good. Like, let's go.
Oh yeah.
Oh, miss
And
it.
one of those mini Gatorades.
Oh, can't beat those. I mean, little
Oh,
on the
yeah.
go, little on the go spot.
Yeah, no, it's great. It's a nice little pick me up.
So Heather, you've been with Channel 2 now.
With enthusiasm there. No Kelly this time.
No Kelly's corner this time. You've been with Channel 2 now since 2014.
Yeah,
How's life going over there?
it's good. It's crazy to think that it's been a little over 5 years at this point.
The 5-year anniversary.
Yeah, it's crazy. Like, I know you guys had Kate on, right? A couple
Yes.
weeks ago or something? Yeah, she's
Oh
great.
yeah.
Yeah, I was saying most Buffalo love it. It's good. It's really crazy when you think about, you know, how out of college a lot of people start in random cities and small towns and things like that. But for me to be able to start in my hometown, especially right out of college, I mean, I'm so lucky. Like, it sounds cliche, but it's so cool.
It
I
is.
mean, to be in my hometown, family's here, I've got friends here, it's a great sports market, and you know, what more could you ask for, right?
I have nothing against hiring people from Boston or anything that went to college and obviously did the work and everything. I really don't understand why more networks don't target local people. Like, there's such a chance that with like the way the markets work and everything like that, their career aspirations, that someone from not tied to Buffalo is a lot more likely to leave, I feel like, than someone.
Well, because someone like that, it could just be like another step. You know,
But then again, we got John Scott and Josh Ray from
Yeah.
Cleveland.
That's
yeah,
true.
there
That's
you
true.
go.
Well,
There
into
you
Buffalo,
go.
that's a natural transition. That's like, you know, middle school to high school.
Yeah,
Well,
send
little less hazing in Buffalo.
Send Javon to Dallas.
Yeah, jeez. Team knows.
But, okay, so back to WGRZ. I always ask everyone this question.
Mm-hmm. I'm nervous.
For over 5 years now, has there been any type of rivalry? With Channel 4, Channel 7, anything?
Spectrum. We want more rivalries. We want more rivalries. Andy Goldberg told me he's ready to fire some shots.
Right, like an Anchorman.
Yeah, has it been
brawl,
Mike
you know,
Syka called that forecast, but Don Paul called that.
Get out my should I get out my trident, like
Yeah,
my trident's
seriously.
in the back corner, you know, ready to go. I don't know. Well, I mean, I could bring you in for this conversation about sports. Like,
Do you guys ever get a scoop and you're like, no, you
No.
can't see that?
I would say scoops. I mean, like, I think we're just both very competitive, so sometimes we kind of need to shut down the work talk at home because we, you know, can get frustrated with something that might be going on or
Yeah.
whatever, like, oh, I'm doing this, well, I really wanted to do that, or oh, I wish I could do that. So I think sometimes we kind of have to flip the off switch.
Wow, shout out to Notorious B.I.G. because this sounds like a juicy piece of drama that we have. Are we talking about like a Scots agree when we walk in the door, all network talk stops?
Yeah, no.
I wish.
It's kind of like the train; it doesn't stop.
It-
Let's go!
Is there ever like, do you guys ever have a rule like no phones for this? Like,
Oh God, we need one. That is for sure.
because I got with 2 people in the news, got to figure like,
Yeah,
We
you
tried.
your
guys.
phones have got to be
Oh,
always
sheesh.
like just going.
We try to do it for like when we're eating dinner and stuff. We try to like not have it, and sometimes if we're like tweeting something or something pops up, like we'll be like, sorry, whatever.
Real quick.
Yeah, we make an effort, but there are definitely times where like I'll be on my phone and then he'll get annoyed, or like vice versa. Like he's sitting there tweeting about the Bills signed this obscure practice squad
Yeah.
guy,
I'm
and I'm
probably
like,
the
do you
worst
really
offender of the
need
two.
to whatever? And
Yeah.
Loves his obscure details. Heather's only focusing on the big stuff at dinner.
yeah. I mean, I'm focusing on like, you know what they call LaShawn McCoy? Like, okay, I care. Practice squad guy. Okay, maybe that can wait a couple.
All right, I need to
minutes.
figure out
But you
which
gotta be
line.
first. You gotta be first. If you're not first, you're last.
Yeah.
Yes.
So yeah, no true rivalries, but work tends to blend into the home life a little more than probably we would.
Yeah,
like it
but I will say at the same time,
to.
sometimes
He's laying.
it helps. Otto's just in the back corner, just
It's a
chilling.
pillow.
Okay, no,
It's a pillow.
John Scott just thought his dog was a pillow in the corner, and Otto just came out of
Oh
my
God.
He's by the fireplace. Otto's like, who are you talking about?
Otto,
That was tremendous.
Otto, your dad just thought that you were a pillow.
I'm sorry, but that looked like it.
Oh my
I
God.
Looks like John's gonna have to get a new dog to make up for that one.
I guess.
All they
Those
feather
are
wins the
crispy.
lotto.
All right, so now it's a
Gotcha.
debate about
Spanish.
who do the, yeah.
Yes,
Not gonna lie,
Baxter.
that was phenomenal.
Oh
That was
my-
awesome.
We also need. I feel like we need to get a picture of that pillow that's over there now, just to show everybody.
From this
like,
angle,
Yeah,
yep.
from this angle.
Can you believe John thought this was Otto?
And I'm gonna bring that up.
What if
for
you
the
throw it
rest
on
of
his
time.
Instagram, chilling by the fireplace
Yeah,
in
yeah,
Studio D?
And then he's gonna respond,
God.
what? So I will bring this up now for the
Sure.
rest of time.
So,
Yeah.
gotta ask, how
Can't
long have
wait.
you guys been together for?
Like almost 3 years now.
Yeah.
About 3 years.
Because I was asking these guys before the show
Uh-huh.
when I wasn't with any of them, but
Uh-huh.
I'm like, I was at Shades. I
Uh-huh.
forgot what show it was. I'm
Uh-huh.
like, guys, I see Scott and Prusak. Do I break this on
He was like 4 rows back with a great picture.
Amazing.
I had a great picture of you guys. I'm like,
Amazing.
should I break this? And they're like,
Wait, what? But what show was it?
Probably was Lion
Was it-
King.
I
Lion
thank
King?
you.
Yeah.
I think it was Lion King.
Yeah.
And the guys are like, I think it's already announced
Yeah,
that they're together. I'm like,
yeah,
all right,
yeah.
I tried.
So like, no, there's no juice on
Yeah,
that.
there's
Damn
no
it, you missed it
scoop.
by a month and a half.
There's no
Like, I thought I had a
scoop.
big like, you
Like,
know,
oh my God,
news
breaking
stations,
news.
like you know,
Yeah, no,
I
no.
got this.
At that point, because that was our like little Christmas like celebration thing. We went to Lion King. I remember. Yep. No, at that point it was out there.
It was out
I
there.
mean,
Yeah.
we don't, no pun intended, we don't broadcast it, but like, you each have Instagrams and whatever.
Yeah.
And if people see or whatever, I was at Wingfest doing something for Spectrum, and some guy came up and randomly was like, "Oh yeah, aren't you marrying that sports girl from Channel 2?" And I'm like, "What? Do I even know you?" Like,
And you're like, hell yeah, I am, brother. Look at that, look at that. It's crazy. Social media, like, there's so much
I
more.
know.
There are reporters and everyone that you guys work with, you guys bump elbows with at the press, scrums, the press conferences, everything. These, press people had only, like, the only time they would ever run into fans, someone at the supermarket who recognized
Oh,
them.
I know.
Someone, like, their mailman stops by.
How
Now
about-
it's like, hey, you're dating the Channel 2 sports girl. How's that doing? Like, it's
How about at the doctor, like the secretary at the doctor's office, when you're like, you come from a workout and you're like in your, workout clothes and it's a
When Al's in his
Wednesday
spandex and
morning.
it's Wednesday
There
morning.
you go. And you're like, I'm just like trying to get some cough medicine here because I'm hacking up a lung. Like, please don't look at me or talk about me on TV right now. Okay, thanks. Great.
Is this about to be a couple with 2 first names?
Oh, yeah. Heather Scott?
Yeah.
Scott?
Yeah.
She's gonna have. Well, he came from the long lineage of double first names. It doesn't be
Mhm.
Type. You give us the
Double
details.
first name.
Does that make them the most distrustworthy couple in Buffalo?
No, it makes them the most powerful couple in Buffalo. We got to get them on our side. John Scott coming from the long lineage, not only a double first name, but 2 syllables for the whole double first name. John Scott. Like, boom. Like, you're done. Like, now you got Heather Scott, which is that's a whole other realm of the double gender, double first name.
Yep.
Are you kidding me? That's incredible.
Although I will say, I hate to disappoint you though, I won't be changing my last name on air.
Whoa, is this a Jessica Simpson situation? Are you now Nick Lachey?
He's actually John Prusak.
No.
Wow. Johnny Prue! Let's go. That's an exclusive live on Trainwreck.
Serious John Prusak Spectrum News?
No, that will not
Breaking
be it.
news.
John Prusak.
It's too close to John Cusack, so I just...
In one world, Zach.
Or Prusak.
Yeah, Jeff Prusak was about to file an injunction.
Jeff
Which I work
Prusak,
with-
John Prusak.
Which I
That's
work
actually
with Bree,
hilarious.
so it's like, we're doing all this.
Gosh.
Everything's intertwined.
Jesus.
You know,
Alright.
it's going to be 2020, guys.
We've talked about it a little bit though. Like, I mean, that's a little bit different. Like, there are couples at news stations and everything. Like, has there ever been a moment that's just ridiculous, like professionally? I mean, I hate to. If you don't want to talk about it, like, is there ever a situation where people are like, don't be like showing that to hubby, like, or something like that?
Wait, sorry, like what?
Like, I guess I don't mean this in like a negative way. Were you ever like treated a little bit differently when something was happening because you are romantically entangled with someone at another network?
Not from my standpoint.
I don't think treated differently. I think more so there's been funny moments.
Okay, well that's good. That's perfect. You're getting bonus funny out of it.
No, I think funny's more of what it I wouldn't say I was treated differently. If anything, sometimes it's we need to remind people that we're 2 different people sometimes.
Wow.
Because even there was this one, it was a very minor thing, but I don't know, the Bills PR guy, Derek. There was
Boyko?
something. Yeah,
That's
Boyko.
our guy.
Boyko, there was something going on, and Boyko told John to tell me, and it was one of those things where I'm just text me so that I know.
You're like Derek. I have H Prusak at WGRZ.com for this exact reason.
But not it wasn't my major at all. But it's just sometimes funny because sometimes people will be like, "Hey, tell John this," or "Hey, can you give this to John?" or "Can you give this to Heather?" And
there's still a lot of people that don't even know. One of the newer PR guys didn't know we were engaged for a bit.
Paul Hamilton didn't know we were engaged.
Yeah, you guys should have walked right after and just started making out. That would have been awesome. This is so unacceptable. This doesn't happen at the press scrum.
No, he would have just been pay me the money for the Survivor pool things.
Okay.
No, but yeah, he came up to us at the Bills preseason game, and he's like, "Congratulations!" And I'm like, "What?" And for what? And he's like, "I didn't even know you guys were engaged." I'm like, what?
Oh, he said he didn't even know we were dating.
Oh yeah, he didn't know we were dating.
Wow.
Which
props to you guys.
I was
That's impressive.
I was gonna say, I guess it's kind of a compliment that we, keep it under wraps.
But it's kind of a props to Paul that he's on Twitter, so he knows who he is, and he didn't notice.
Talk about staying in your lane, Paul.
As a reporter
Right.
nowadays, you gotta be on Twitter, you're on social
He
media.
deals with so many trolls, though.
Yeah, he's blocking guys left and right.
Yeah.
So you would think you would see, 2 of his colleagues, friends were together.
He doesn't have time for real drama when he's dealing with fake Ed Kilgore's all
Yeah,
the
fake
time.
Kilgore.
Seriously.
Oh, poor Paul. Fake Ed
Hashtag bring
Kilgore.
back fake Ed Kilgore.
Oh, fake Ed Kilgore. No, I think back to funny stories though that happened because of that. The funny one was when 2 funny stories. One was when McDermott congratulated us for getting engaged. During a press conference.
Wow, everyone zoomed in closely with the cameras.
He literally started the press conference with Boyko obviously told him, but he started with that. I'm I am so embarrassed right now. Oh my goodness. And then the second one was it was his birthday on Wednesday.
Oh, we all saw this. This is just
okay.
There's business class and then there's first class, and this was first class. Go on.
Hello. Go big or go home. So, yeah, it's his birthday on Wednesday, and I got to the media room early because I was joking with him, I'm going to embarrass the crap out of you at work. And he's like, no, you're not, blah, blah, blah. And so I get there early, and I put at his seat that he always sits in the press room, I put a cookie cake and this giant big balloon. Obnoxious balloon. I put streamers in front of it, tiny little balloons, whatever, and it's you can't not see it. So he asks a question, and McDermott's I'm sorry, I happy birthday, John. I can't take you seriously with this, big confetti and balloon and whatever, and he's like just so thrown off.
At least that admits sometimes he takes me seriously. On other times, so
At least you knew you were in his brain. I mean, and it also could have been partially on the cookie cake. We know about his passion for ice cream. I mean, he might have been drooling.
Brownies and ice cream, his favorite food.
I'm telling you, I'm bringing a little like the to-go like half chocolate and vanilla things. If I ever get the press pass, I'm bringing a 24 pack everywhere I go.
You're like, dude, here you go.
Most definitely.
Yep.
All right, let's take this over to John Scott. Growing up in Cleveland, how was life? Are there any major differences at all between Cleveland and Buffalo? How long were you there for?
So, born and raised until I was in the Cleveland suburbs until I went to University of Dayton when I was, 18, 19. So, yeah, born and raised there. Sports teams were equally as heart-crushing as it was growing up with fumble, the drive, the shot. I mean, we all know the list. And snows not as much there as it does here. But even like when I first moved here in 2014, like the architecture, the feel of the people, it's all pretty similar to me. So that's what I usually tell people is Buffalo is really not that different, especially the feel and the vibe from Cleveland. I would just say, at least at this point, Cleveland is just slightly ahead, maybe a few years ahead in regards to their revitalization. But Buffalo, in the almost 6 years I've lived here, it's crazy the amount of things that have been built up. And I always say, don't knock it till you try it, because this place is a lot better than even I anticipated when I moved here.
Yeah, and it's crazy to me still the amount of Buffalonians that I'm friends with hate Cleveland and won't go there. And I invite them to the MAC tournament. No, I'll never go to Cleveland.
Fun.
I'm like, Cleveland's so much fun. The Flats, is it East 4th or East
4th? Yep.
4th? I mean, it's just the amount of places where you can go there. I mean, when you go to Buffalo, it's what? You have Chippewa, Elmwood, Allen. When you're going out. I'm just
going out.
Oh, don't be leaving Hurdle out of this party.
Correct. Do not.
And Hurdle. But you know what I'm saying? It's just there's a mainstay of
No, you're absolutely. There's about 8 times that in Cleveland. I've been to Indians games before. I've gone to Cleveland before, but I had my first major exposure actually this past March when I went for the MAC tournament. I went all 5 days for the women's game, which started on Wednesday. Hung out, rubbed elbows with a couple people called John Scott and Heather Prusak in the back. I was looking like a deer in headlights. I was leaving my equipment everywhere. They were all pissed at me, but it's okay. And it was a great time. And again, the thing I got to say is that I didn't know how great Cleveland was until I went for this MAC tournament this past year.
Absolutely. And a lot of fellow media people that over the past few years that we've been going, a lot of them leave and say, wow, I didn't realize Cleveland was this good. So, and it's only 3 hours. It's something you could just even go for a night, I would say. And it's gotten a lot better because I wasn't as willing to go out on a limb and rev up Cleveland when I was even going to college and things like that. But much like Buffalo in the past 10 years or whatever, East 4th was not East 4th 10 years ago. And the Flats was not the Flats even 3, 4, 5 years ago. So it's all trying to churn and get back on top. And so it's if you haven't been there recently, I would certainly suggest.
Fun. Yeah, I mean we go there. We've gone there a couple times.
Are you a big paninis guy?
I do like paninis.
Those sandwiches.
That's our place for the MAC tournament every year.
Winking Lizard.
The Winking Lizard, though, is my A1 favorite restaurant. I worked there, not the one downtown, but the original in Bedford, which is right next to the town that I grew up in. I would wait at tables there.
Where is that, in correspondence to the city? Southwest?
Bedford, where I grew up. I grew up in Solon. It's 25 minutes southeast of downtown.
Southeast.
Okay. Eastside Cleveland Wild Boys?
Yes. So,
you're heading towards Akron, Kent, and that, right?
I mean, Kent's still 45 minutes away.
Okay.
But yeah, I don't really know. Yeah, it's funny. Cleveland is an east-west divide, like Buffalo is a north-south.
Yep.
My dad actually crossed over as a West Sider, born and raised, and they live on the east side.
So it's like Southtowns, Northtown.
So just
I love that it's not north side, south side.
So it's what you
actually
just
Northtown,
did,
Southtown.
where I won the battle of North versus South.
Yes, and I was one of the few here in Buffalo that I guess we'll say voluntarily went from north to south.
Sort of.
You want to talk about just being an idiot. I go to Cleveland Wednesday for the MAC tournament. I'm like, I don't need any place to stay. I'm just going to go to the Jack, play 4 hours of poker, and get comped a hotel room. Because every casino I've ever been to has a hotel inside of it. So this is a foolproof plan. I'm playing for 4 hours. I'm up $150, so it's the best of all worlds. I'm planning to get my hotel for free. I go, where can I get a hotel account? And they go, we don't have a hotel here.
Yeah.
So then I'm in Cleveland with no place to stay. Thank goodness Al and crew got there a day early. The Bertino crew bailed me out.
Well, the Jack was supposed to actually go to the flats. That was where the current location was supposed to be like phase 1. They were going to move it to the flats, and then they were, which makes sense to me. Like, why would you just pick up and move an entire casino? That seems like a lot of work, and we'll just leave it downtown by the arenas. So that's what they did.
The best is too right over there. They have the cantina, the Taco Bell.
Oh yeah,
Cantina.
true.
Awesome.
You can drink. I mean, anytime you can drink at a
Great.
fast food restaurant, it's next level.
Yeah.
And it's open till 4 a.m. Not that we would know.
Never.
So real quick, we're 3 minutes away from Monday Night Football. We got Redskins, Bears. Bears are -5.5. Follow at Degenerate Zone on Twitter for 5-star locks.
Definitely.
I'm locking in Redskins +5.5 tonight as the play.
Ooh.
They're 0-2. They've played 2 tough games. They were in it with the Eagles. They were in it with the Cowboys. This Bears team has not proven a thing to me. They just got by the Broncos and put 3 points at home to the Packers. I like getting the points at home tonight.
Yeah, I don't like the Bears' offense all that much, but I love their defense.
I know.
And until Ohio State quarterback Dwayne Haskins gets in,
Oh, here we go.
gonna be a
Here
little-
come the Ohio Ties.
until the quarterback comes in,
So
I'm
you
going
like-
to go with the Bears.
You like the Bears to cover 5.5?
Yeah, I'm
Okay.
taking the Bears too.
I'm taking the Redskins and the over. You have underdogs on Monday Night Football. Hate to follow trends, 2-1 this year with the Monday Night Football doubleheader. So you're getting fired up. Like Al said, they played 2 tough games. They're 0-2, and as we saw with the Bengals this past week, I mean, just because the team's 0-2 doesn't mean they're out of it. Doesn't mean they're not hungry for a W.
Can we also quickly, I know we've got this Monday night game, but how about next week's Monday night game?
They're all trash. They're literally all like, if you look at the Monday Night Football for the next 6 weeks,
it
it's
is
a
a
disaster.
toilet bowl. The
Why can't
Bengals
we
and
flex
the-
Monday night?
The Bengals
They
and
may
the
be getting there.
Steelers. The toilet bowl. I saw them. Like, that's the Monday night game next
It's all right.
week.
Shout out to Khalil Mack to help me cover.
That's true.
No, it's wrong.
And if you're gonna cover, it's gonna be because
Hey,
of Cleo Man, for
speaking
sure.
of, his little brother, man, is balling.
And that's why we pay Heather Prusak and John Prusak the big bucks, because now we're going to another Buffalo football team that took care of business this weekend.
It's like
The UB Bulls. Al, how are you feeling with that Temple upset?
I mean, to beat them 38-22. at
Soundly.
home,
A sound beating.
A lot of people thought that we had no chance.
Mhm.
You know, Temple just upset Maryland. UB laid an egg on the road against Liberty after, you know, a great first half against Penn State. And to do what they did, I mean, no, a lot of people don't realize UB actually did not have more yards than Temple.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Temple had more yards, but I think on the ground, UB just destroyed them.
Well, I
It
think
was like
that-
2:15-30.
At one point, maybe it was halftime or something. I don't know. I was anchoring and I like looked up. I was following the game though, and at one point I looked up and Temple had -25 rushing yards. I was like, oh boy.
Yeah.
Well, that's where we're at.
It's the narratives of football. It's crazy because the week before, Maryland came in as the highest
Yeah,
scoring team in college
yeah.
football, and they were running the ball at will for 8 to 9 yards a
Mhm.
carry, and Temple took that away. So what are they expecting? Temple to go in and wreck UB?
Mhm.
No, UB takes Temple's strength away from them. And Lance, I think that was a huge win. I hate to say it, but for his swag. I mean, my guy, LL Cool Play, he needed to get on the right side of 500 going in to
Yeah.
MAC play.
And talk about swag. How about the dancing after the game?
Oh my God! Well, we can't talk about that because we have a legal matter pending where we have a cease and desist that he stole all my.
And that's real.
We got a point over here.
Yeah, that big negative rushing yard thing was mainly because that punt that went over the head in college football, that's still counted as negative rushing.
Oh, is that
So,
what
like,
that
technically
was?
They
Okay.
were only like even rushing. So they
Okay.
were right about 0 yards really after that. That defense played great. Joey Banks again, 2 weeks in a row. The MAC East Defensive Player of the Week. You got Otto down there.
Do you have something to
Just
say?
like-
I think Otto started some Temple Owls in college fantasy. He's very upset.
Yeah, Jared Patterson looked great over the weekend. He was looking for that attention again, getting all eyes on him, looking great on ESPNU. His feature's great. His vision is so dynamic in the backfield. Can hit any hole. Zone run scheme, inside, outside, doesn't matter. You'd love to see that from Jar Pat and Joey Banks.
Literally, Joey Banks, Jarpat, and our boy Apri Washington with a huge pick to start that second half when Temple was looking to get the momentum going and maybe get back in the game.
Big
Sha-
Uzi, lots of pressure from that defensive line, whether it was him, DeShandre Foxworth, you guys brought up Ladarius Mack earlier. They were all over the place.
All our boys taking care of business. Now, obviously, the Lance dance, the hashtag Lance dance was getting a ton of attention. We got to talk about something, though, because I think we attended the game. Heather, you were there. I don't know if you were, John.
I was anchoring, but we all
nationally televised game. We walk in. Between the end of the first quarter and the first 5 minutes of the second quarter was 48 minutes of real time. Did you feel that? That game was not moving at all. Was that because of the national broadcast? Like, what was happening there?
I don't know. It felt so slow at that point. I was
unbelievable.
Like,
Al was going nuts.
Well, and even because I looked up just for the end of the game, I'm like, at past 7, it was so. I mean, it's still at 3:30.
Oh, ridiculous!
It's still going on.
Yeah, I flipped it on.
Speak.
Otto's getting a treat mid-game.
Yeah, speak.
I don't look.
Animal. Oh,
there it was.
Animal on a Trainwreck show.
There it is.
Live. Otto.
He just has a lot of things to say.
Otto's like
about
Cosmo
both
Kramer. He
sports.
takes care of business.
Yeah,
that's what he does.
He just has
TCP.
a lot of things to say.
And the Bulls are going into conference play now. And, I mean, the thing that I tweeted out right away was, Robert Morris was a gimme. You didn't know what was going to happen at Penn State. They played better than everyone expected. And there was a good feeling after Penn State, despite it being a 30-point game. Liberty was an absolute dud. Everyone down to them. And now you're back on the Temple. It's a variable. Nobody knows where this UB team's going to go. I feel like it could get to 9 wins even, maybe, if it catches stride. But it also could fall.
I think it's about what UB team shows up. Is it going to be the team that played really tough and strong in the first half against Penn State and the team that played against Temple? Or is it going to be the one that pretty much rolled over against Liberty?
And also, almost like the Bills, what is your young quarterback going to do? There's going to be instances, even in conference play, where Matt Myers is going to be in situations where the onus is maybe going to fall more on his shoulders as opposed to the running game and the defense, and he's going to have to make plays to win them the game. You saw those flashes against Penn State, and if you can make plays and flash on that stage, it shows that he has the ability and can do it, especially in conference play. There are going to be those instances he's going to have to rise to the occasion and probably win them at least 1 or 2 games if they're going to get to that 8, 9, 10 win range. And I think that's really exciting. And if he can do that at this stage of his career at UB, then you really can start elevating expectations moving forward for a guy I would expect to be there all 4 years.
Well, and it helps too when you have that two-headed monster of Kevin Marks and Jarrett Patterson there to kind of lean on, where he's still maybe, working out some of the kinks or, his growth process or whatever you want to call it with Matt Myers. You have that strong running game to rely on to maybe kind of help you along when he's kind of struggling to make some of those throws or, those reads or whatever it is.
There's a point in this game the past week where I hate to say I lost paying attention or whatever, but I looked and UB almost had as many points as Matt Myers had passing yards. It was about just managing the game at that point, obviously taking care of business. Something LL Cool Play has specialized in throughout his career, and hopefully will continue into Mac play this year, Al.
My expectations in the beginning of the year they were a little lower.
I
definitely was a.
How could they not be?
Exactly. I was a maximum kind of 6-6 guy. I thought that was their ceiling. Their over under I believe was what? It was 6, right?
It was 6, yeah.
It was 6. So I thought that would be it, but after seeing the way Ohio has started, they've gone I think now
1 and 3.
1 and 3.
Speaking of that, the last couple of years, we've had MAC teams knock off real good, high caliber talent. This year, their most notable win is either Eastern Michigan over Illinois or UB's win against Temple. Those are the 2 biggest wins in the MAC this year. Ohio, you thought they had a great chance against Pitt. They fell flat in that game. There's been some other, close.
Marshall, Lafayette at home.
I read so many things talking about how great Ohio is going to be this year, but let me tell you what, I'm feeling like Dennis Green. If you want to crown them, crown the ass, but the Bulls are coming for him.
I wanted to bury the over 7.5.
They are what we thought they were.
They are.
That's the main.
And we let them off the hook.
The MAC is wide open. The MAC is wide open. Anyone can win. You're coming in. There's only 2 teams right now who are above 500 after week 4. No one has a big non-conference win. No one's dominating any games.
Well, I think that's what makes this conference so exciting too.
Yes.
Is that it's yes, it's not a Power 5, but it can really be anybody's game because there's so much parity there.
Most definitely.
So you know what?
Kent just put up 750 yards last week in their MAC opener. Like no one expected Kent to do anything.
Yeah, but I think is it BG they played
against BG.
BG's that bad.
BG's not going to be good, but
I mean,
it was a 62-20 game to open MAC play.
You don't have to waste any time for Al to tell you how bad Bowling Green is.
Alright, might be a little biased, but it's Patriots week. Do you want to get some shout outs before we end this show?
Well, let's get a couple things we got to do with the Patriots because obviously it feels far away. So you got to enjoy Victory Monday. Was it 24-hour rule? So we're still enjoying the 24 hours. We've seen. I'll kick us off here. The last 3 of the 4 times they've played the Patriots, they've stifled them in the first half. McDermott has come out with a defensive game, and Frazier have come out with a defensive game plan that has stopped Tom Brady, at least kept it within a 1-possession game, and basically 3 of the 4 games they played. So I think they got to capitalize on that, and obviously you got to make some plays in the first half. That's the challenge. The Bills have started slow in almost all 3 games. I mean, the turnovers in the Jets game were what nullified the yards, but you got to make plays early because Belichick will not give you that many opportunities to do so. So if you can do so at the beginning, you open up your chances later, obviously.
I mean, even against the Bengals, they didn't score until their 3rd drive.
Seriously.
It's like you have to, not only do you have to score early and I mean, often that goes without saying, but you also you got to get 7 instead of 3. You can't be settling for field goals there, especially against that kind of team. Because if you give them any kind of wiggle room, they're going to take advantage of that.
Yeah.
It's not going to be a situation where you're going to be able to come back in the 4th quarter or whatever it might be. Like you have to take advantage of those opportunities early and often.
The Bills lose that game to the Bengals if they get 3 instead of 7.
100%.
Yeah.
It's that. I was telling my brother and dad that I said if they sell for 3 here and it's 17-17, we're in trouble.
It's funny. It'll be interesting because the Patriots for years, especially under Josh McDaniels, they're such a matchup-specific, game-by-game team offensively, and that's now what I think you're seeing more with Brian Dable this year. Yes, John Brown and Cole Beasley are the primary targets, but you're seeing a jet sweep with Dawson Knox, and you're seeing end-arounds with Isaiah McKenzie, and so you're starting to see some little different wrinkles. But the interesting thing with this matchup, as opposed to maybe years past, is all the focus is always on Brady. Their defense is unbelievable this year.
Incredible.
And that is almost like the under-the-radar type thing, despite the fact that they really haven't even allowed like a touchdown, I don't think.
No offensive touchdowns this
entire year. So that's one thing where it's like, you have Stephon Gilmore. You have a lot of pieces on that other side of the ball that are really going to challenge Brian Dable and then the execution by Josh Allen and the offense.
It's interesting because both of these teams, while at different, stages of their
franchise,
where they are. But when you look at it, okay, so the Bills have played teams so far with a combined 1-8 record. The Patriots have played teams with a combined 0-9 record. So it's just interesting to see how both teams have come out, they're undefeated so far, but like you look at who they've played, I think, what everyone talks about how it's going to be a measuring stick for the Bills. I'm not saying the Patriots need a measuring stick, but it'll be interesting to see, when they go against a not 0-3 team or whatever.
I still think even a touchdown underdog, they're begging you to bet the Patriots with where the overall mindset is at. The Patriots have historically dominated the Bills. Patriots are rolling. They're begging you to bet the Patriots, and I love that situation for the Bills, and that's why I'm optimistic. They
love being underdogs. They love that. Even Jordan Poyer said after the game, talking about the secondary, he's like, no one talks about us and stuff. So you can tell they still have that chip on their shoulder, despite being the biggest strength for the Bills this season, and they have been.
And Portnoy. Could be Buffalo bound.
Could be.
Yeah.
Well, his posts today were priceless. I watched that 5-6 minute video that he posted again. They did a few years ago. Hilarious. The Bills fans at the tailgates talking about how much they hate Brady, how much they hate the fans, and he just loves ripping on us.
You can say what you want about it. He can be completely inappropriate, uncalled for, everything like that. He has a very legitimate perspective, I'm just going to say, on how everything overall is like. And the article today, should we let Buffalo win because it's just so irrelevant to us, is like, it speaks to what you said about the state of the franchise.
Yeah.
If New England loses this game, it's really not the end of the world.
It's not a big deal. But
if
for
Buffalo
the Bills,
wins
it's
this
like they
game,
won the
we're
Super Bowl.
going to the Super Bowl.
Yep,
Like,
exactly.
it's 100% confirmed.
Exactly, because that's just the state of it. It's beating the big bad Patriots versus that's what happens in one-sided rivalries. Because for Patriots fans, they couldn't give two craps about, the Bills and whatever, but for the
they
Bills.
don't hate us.
Right, they don't. They don't, because it's a one-sided thing, whereas, like, the Bills, you hate the team that's always the best. And I understand that.
And also,
Makes
their
sense.
success is dictated and predicated on January. What happens in January and beyond? This franchise, the Bills' success, has been all about, the majority is September and October,
right.
and how long you can ride that wave and be in the hunt conversation.
Hashtag in the hunt.
And so that's why, but I think even if the Bills can't win this game, how the game unfolds and how they actually match up toe-to-toe should continue to give them positive momentum with a continued favorable schedule moving forward, even past this game. I don't think they have to win for you to feel confident that this actually is a different feel and a different team than years past.
But I do like your point, though, about how the game unfolds. Because if they come out and get, like, pounded, then
says everything.
Then people are going to be like, oh, boy, the first 3 games were a fluke. And then in the conversations about how, they had to come back from being down against 3 bad teams and whatever, and then you get pounded by the Patriots, whatever.
Well, it's just
but
what
if
happened.
if it goes away where it's competitive and it's back and forth, or they're in it and they still lose, it's, like you said, I don't think they have to win in order for you to feel good. It just depends how it happens.
Well, they had that feel, I believe it was, Rex's first year, or first or second year, it was the game where Edelman dove and Aaron Williams hurt his neck.
Sound record?
And it was the same.
Let's beat
It
Seattle.
was the same feel. It was an early season success for the Bills. It was, let's puff our chest and say, this is our time to finally get this team. And then they got trounced, and it kind of set the tone for the rest of the season.
Kind of brings you back down to
And I think this game can do something similar one way or the other.
Yeah.
You guys seemed up for a great point. I think if they get blown out, it's demoralizing. I think if they lose at the end of the day, it's not demoralizing. If they come out and punch the Patriots in the mouth, even if Brady does have a little comeback, maybe if they make second half adjustments, it just feels like you're there and you belong a little bit more than you have in the past. Yes,
you're getting there and you're close.
Yeah, if it's
versus like, this is just the same old thing we've always seen.
If they score 31 unanswered and they're averaging 8.5 yards per carry, like the one game against Rex, where I literally wanted to rip my face off.
Well, it's similar to what were the Ravens? You didn't know what they were after the first few weeks. Who was Lamar Jackson? Then they go and play a heck of a game to the very end against a Chiefs team, I think, with the Patriots are the 2 top teams in that conference. And so for the Ravens, they didn't win, but I feel a certain way about the Ravens and their place in the AFC after that game, as opposed to if Lamar would have laid a dud, and that's kind of a blowout with Mahomes just doing what Mahomes does.
Yeah,
because everyone was chirping him, you beat the Dolphins. You beat the Cardinals at home.
Correct.
You played an under-touchdown game in Kansas City. It's pretty damn impressive.
Absolutely.
Most definitely.
Yep.
So,
especially how they were down in that game and came back. I mean, you can always look for positives and anything, but the comeback is definitely
and once
something.
again, they covered the spread.
Well, real winners cover the spread.
Seriously, I mean, plus 5.5. Everyone and their mother is on Kansas
Hashtag
City.
do your job.
Good teams win, great teams cover, as we say. That's what it's all about. I'll kick us off on shout-outs. First off, I want to thank and a shout-out to the entire Prusak clan here. We got Heather, we got John, and we got Otto.
Otto, you don't see it. Otto.
We got Otto. Where is he over there? Oh, wait, no, he's hanging out here. My guy needs, and that tail is wagging at an insane rate. It
Otto's
is
got to
awesome.
get some FaceTime on here. Otto!
No, he's right behind you.
Shout out to everyone that also came out to the Mafia homecoming party this past Friday. The whole wrecking crew was there. It was an awesome event. Everyone coming out to represent. And we are going to keep, obviously, this train rolling, whether it's Sabres, Bills, Bulls. We are going forward in the fall, and 2019 has a lot of promise left in it for sure.
I want to shout out Kelly's Corner for being the walk-off shot for
that was big.
Newlywed game.
It's still going to take a little while to get over that.
Shout out to Kelly's Corner.
Shout out to Kelly.
Kelly Prusak.
Yeah, great.
And shout out to you guys and everyone here for allowing us to come on out and hop on board for one evening.
Yeah, I will echo that. I'll say shout out to my boys, my Backstreet Boys, for an awesome wardrobe tonight.
I'm going to a podcast nearby. Wanna go?
Oh, and I'll shout out Homage. They're the ones who does a whole line of NBA Jam shirts. So
you had your turn,
those
alright?
throwbacks.
John Scott doesn't just look this good when he wakes up in the morning, folks. Although Heather would say otherwise.
No.
No, she wouldn't.
Okay.
Continue, sir.
No, just Backstreet Boys.
Get John in a basketball jersey.
Shout out to Backstreet Boys. Get him in. Let those guns out. Let those guns out.
Oh,
You got any
my
shout outs over here?
God.
Tybee, Christy, DJ Supreme.
One quick one, and then my real one. Shout out Jerry Hughes. You didn't get fined this week, and no Spectrum reporters got you in trouble either.
Ooh.
Not to name names. Second
John.
shout out. Everyone get to
That was
leftturn.co.
awesome.
Grab yourself their new edition of the Game Day series. Buffalo Bills Wild Western New York show. Welcoming the New England militia in. It's an absolute unbelievable poster. Just $10, and all the proceeds go towards the mental health advocates of Western New York.
Oh, one more really quick. Sorry, I forgot. What was they talking about shirts? You guys have checked out the 26 shirts shirt right
Oh,
now.
yeah.
That Dr. Seuss inspired blue cheese and wing shirt. I just ordered my crew neck sweatshirt. It is fantastic. They do a great job with everything, but this design is particularly fantastic.
Heather's the only local anchor still representing 26 shirts because Jonah just divided.
Jonah
He had
left
to decide that he goes to
me.
Texas.
Jonah
And again, shout out to those
left me.
long sleeve and crew neck options. I
Dude,
just saw you shouting out
Dude, the
today.
crew necks, like, I dig crew necks. I love crew neck sweatshirts. So, yeah, gotta check that out. Okay, continue.
My shout out to Harrison Phillips.
I was trying to get Otto in
Quick
trouble
speedy
over there.
recovery from the ACL. Terrible news that we learned today.
He's got a knack for the
But
mic.
silver lining, hopefully that gives Ed Albert a little bit of extra opportunity to have an increased role in the defense and have our future brighter than ever up in the middle on the defensive line.
For a big boy, he is incredibly light on his feet. The fact that he can do those little ups, like those little ups, are incredible.
So
Otto.
Seriously.
Otto up.
I gotta give a shout out.
Otto up. Otto up.
I gotta give a shout out to Heather and John being here, even after Maniac and a Weitzel presser
Oh no.
has his cell going off.
Oh jeez. You guys remember that? My alarm just goes over all point blank with Mark Allnut.
We're fine.
It's like the most annoying noise too. That 6:30 alarm noise that just like kills
Oh,
you.
I hate that noise.
Oh,
That noise
it
with
is.
a passion because it's like you gotta get up now.
So not only was I interrupting Mark Allnut talking, it was literally the most annoying noise I ever had. So shout out to you guys for still putting us up with us after that.
But seriously, Otto, Heather,
Otto.
John, everyone here, Christy, DJ Supreme, Tybee, thank you for joining us tonight once again on Instagram and Twitter Live. Check us out after the show. We're now officially on Spotify,
Woo!
Apple Podcasts, and SoundCloud. And shout out once again to Buffalo Credit Repair. And what do we say?
This train never stops.
Good night now.
Train never stops. Let's go.